Laporta to get some.
Did you start him?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Hey, you're lucky that you're not on Instagram right now.
Why does that make me lucky?
Because everybody, for one, all the good stuff on Instagram I send you.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's posting their music recaps.
Right.
And I don't care.
Yeah, but it's an engagement piece just in general, right? Like I would say that it's an engagement piece.
What's up, host?
Well,
I guess I haven't responded to anybody's.
It's good pub for Spotify
or Apple. I'm an Apple guy.
Okay, well, yeah, I feel like more people have Spotify, but which
More people
that is one of the few things that Apple doesn't dominate at. And I know Spotify is the OG; they were first, but like I prefer even the interface. I just prefer Spotify personally.
I don't pay for Spotify, I pay for Apple, so I prefer Apple. And I have to pay for Apple for us to put this podcast on Apple.
Well, Spotify helped everybody at one point because you could have got Hulu. Hulu was like free.
Well, I was a Tidal guy.
See, and the weird thing about Tidal, the only reason I even signed up for Tidal was when Kanye dropped Pablo.
Life of Pablo.
Yeah. And it lagged and shit too, like because it was like the middle of the workday when that happened. And so
see, I was late to the Tidal. I didn't get Tidal until 444 dropped.
I guess that did come out afterwards.
Yeah, it was a Tidal exclusive because for me, I could not wait that long. I couldn't wait however many days it was going to be because you knew eventually they were going to drop it on the other platforms.
Right.
Just like Life of Pablo, but I couldn't comfortably wait that long for a Jay-Z album. That's probably an issue.
Well, think about it. You got to wait even longer now.
Well, I'm not looking for one right now.
Would you? You wanted one to drop one?
I mean, if Hove drops something, I'm going to listen to it.
All ears, huh?
I don't know where you're going with this, so I'm going to get out of here.
Ben Baller, he said something about Kendrick, but we can get to that stuff later.
But as I said, I don't care about other people's music. Would you like to hear my top 5 artists?
Yeah, go ahead.
Future.
Okay, so he's one.
Metro Boomin.
Okay.
Mainly because they dropped that album.
They dropped like 2 or 3 projects technically this year. Yeah.
Kanye.
Okay.
Kendrick.
Okay.
Ross.
Really? Ross is on your list?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you listening
to? My top songs are kind of messed up because one night I was listening to 7 Minute Drill by J. Cole like on repeat and I fell asleep with my headphones in.
Yeah.
So
it replayed it.
Yeah, it's my number one song, but it's not really my number one song. So my actual top 5 songs are Like That, Yeah Glow, Not Like Us, Maybach Music 2, and Nobody Knows My Struggle.
You know how interesting that is? Here, I'm going to give you mine real quick. So,
Get It Sexy's number 14.
So, hold on. I'm going to just give you the top 5 of each.
Okay.
J-Mo? Get J-Mo. All right, so in terms of, let me pause it. Top artist was Drake, which this is the first year that he's ever been my number one artist. I think it's because I listened to the diss track a lot. But
you got your OVO chain on today?
No, I don't own one of those, sir. Plus, technically, the Kanye thing split, but Kanye was 2.
Okay.
Ye Dollar Sign or Vultures was 3.
Okay.
Future was 4, and Jay-Z was 5. And then my top 5 songs, this is why I said it was interesting. My top 5 songs were Carnival was 1. I didn't think that Carnival would be 1, but honestly, I did listen to it, I guess, when it came out because, it went number 1. Like, the song I thought it was tough. Yeah, Glow is number 2 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, that's interesting. I was like, okay, so we both had Yeah, Glow in our top 5. Even weirder, Taco Tuesday was number 3 for me by the Migos. Song that came out years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. Stars by Vultures was 4, which is the intro to that album. I love that. And then 5 was Evil Ways, Drake and J. Cole.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm looking at my top artists, I'm a little disappointed in myself. You wouldn't guess who's number 6, and Ross only beat him by 3 minutes.
Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that you're a closet Drake fan. So like,
no, I think I'm a public Drake fan.
Really?
Yeah, I just think I'm comfortable being critical of Drake and a lot of stuff.
I don't think that anyone's not critical of him. You could be I'm a fan of Kendrick's music. Like, this is the thing. These are 2 artists that everybody likes.
Yeah, people really think I hate Drake.
They don't like Drake, which is weird. That's the weird part, when people act like they don't like Drake.
But people think I don't like Drake. I just don't think that. I think Drake makes better songs than he makes albums.
That's fair, I guess. I think that's fair.
Because, I say Drake only has 1 classic album, but he has great songs. And I barely give him a classic album.
Drake didn't drop an album this year, right?
Yeah, he dropped like 3.
He didn't drop 3 albums this year. What did he drop this year? He didn't drop an album this year. For All was the last thing he dropped, and that was last year. Now he had the No Faith, like he had the stuff that came out kind of on that gig thing, but that wasn't even an EP. Like, I mean, that was just songs, Lucy's, really. Yeah. Really hope Amon Ra catches a touchdown here.
This might be Gucci Mane's lowest year for me.
Gucci hasn't made good music. And there's nothing wrong with that. He hasn't made good music in so long.
Well, I'm a Gucci Archives guy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I mean, your palate's going to change. I mean, it's not that you don't listen to him, but I'm just saying, like, palate's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, Jay was my number 15. He's usually never that low.
Yeah, and he's obviously an archive guy for me. That's why he was still top. I listen to Jay all the time, but like, it was interesting to say the least. Like, and this is the best part about albums that released recently. I feel like I give them even more listens now. Like, Her Loss to me sounds so much better today than it did when it first came out. Like, if you actually go back and listen to Her Loss, it's actually a pretty fucking good collab album. But
Life of Pablo is one of my top 5 albums.
So see, Spotify doesn't give us that type of action.
More About Nothing was number 6 for me. Big fan of that album.
Yeah. Big fan of Wale. You and Josh Holsey both.
Yeah, Glow was my top song in February.
The crazy thing is, Josh Holsey once told me that Wale was a better when I first met him, that Wale was a better artist than Kanye West. And like, I told him, I said, you don't really mean that. And I know that today he would take it back, of course. But like, even at the time, I was just like, you don't really mean that shit. Because you got to think about it.
Wale's trajectory was never even that high.
But when I met him, literally the year prior, he dropped My Beautiful Dark. And then the year that we met, he dropped Watch the Throne. So it's kind of just like, you didn't really mean it, but you just didn't mean it, period. Like, just say that you're a bigger Wale fan than Kanye. Fair. Okay, cool. Don't tell me that he's a better artist than him.
Think about some of the bad musical debates you had early in college.
Mine, I never had obviously everybody knows I'm a big Kanye fan, but like, I feel like that's been justified anyways. Like,
well, I'm just saying, like, some of the conversations that you'd have with people, and whether it's your opinion there then or their opinion.
I would say more in high school.
See, we had some bad ones in high school, but I say college for me because my group was so diverse.
Meeting from different places.
Yeah, and we just all had different musical palettes.
There was somebody that told me that Waka Flocka and Gucci was a better collab than Kanye and Jay-Z when I was in high school. And I just was like, I laughed about it. And this same person wouldn't agree with it today, obviously. But like, I'm just saying, even at the time, I don't give a fuck how much you like Gucci, man. Like, you didn't really mean it. You just like it more. Don't say it's a better collab. They have Ferrari Boys that ain't no legendary fucking tape, nigga. Like,
if I had to be stuck listening to one artist for the rest of my life, it would probably be Gucci Mane. But I wouldn't tell you he's the best artist out here.
Really? If you had to erase everybody's music, that's the one person you want to listen to all the time?
Gucci Mane's my favorite rapper.
I mean, right, and that's your
again. Yeah. I think Kanye makes better music. He's more skilled. I
feel like if you could listen to any, because they you have his productions,
it may be Kanye.
Features, he's probably the ultimate artist.
No, it would have to be Gucci.
He's a top 5 producer all time, easy. And some people would put him 1. I think it's real tough for the producer. I mean, Pharrell to me is up there.
I mean, Metro
Boomin has to be up there. Metro is in that discussion today. But when it comes to certain, and here's the thing with even Metro, he doesn't have the crossover appeal. He doesn't really have the pop records like that. And so Metro.
Dreams and Nightmares is pop.
I'm saying like how Pharrell and Timbaland and like Kanye have like legendary pop records. Like You Don't Know My Name is my favorite Alicia Keys song. And it's not because Kanye produced it. It's just one of the most beautiful songs. Like, love that song. It's like a tough fucking record.
You got Yeezys on right now?
I do, but
did you buy them or did they get shipped to you?
Both.
No, I'm saying like did Kanye ship them or did you buy them?
I bought them.
Okay, just making sure. Now we got to check your allegiances at times.
All right. Well, I don't think so. Which I guess that we can really transition because we can get back to the pop culture aspect of it later.
Hey, how are you doing today, Parlay Pete? We didn't even do that.
I'm doing fantastic. You just ruined my segue. I was literally about to say, don't question my allegiance because I cheer for a team that's 6-6 that was 6-3. But I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm an asshole for doing that. My bad.
Dick.
I'm good, man. I'm good, dog. Yeah, I'm actually good. Not even like saying I'm good for the podcast. Now I had a pretty good day today. Later start than expected, but
logged in a little OT.
Yeah, I mean we potted last night.
Did you?
Yeah, and then we hung out.
The what's the vets? Oh, the vets, right?
Yeah, Village Vets. Yeah. So did that whole thing. So I didn't wake up when my alarm went off.
Okay.
But nah, man, we're good. Just out here trying to promote Black Wall Street while also giving people the illusion that I perform kick does.
Kick dough shawty, huh?
Yeah.
I think Waka started a record like that once. He's like kick dough shawty, black man walking something toting block 40. It was something like that.
And that is better than Kanye and Jay-Z, huh?
That's what I was told. I was also told that Santana and Wayne were a better collab, too, at the same time. Same person.
Do I know this person?
Yeah, you met Latana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't believe that stuff anymore, though. Like Lil Wayne was his favorite rapper. I've never stopped. Kanye's he still is my favorite. Wayne is no longer his favorite. J. Cole's his favorite now, which is fine because J. Cole wasn't really popular when we were in high school. He thinks like Good Friday's Kanye looking for trouble. He will point out like J. Cole, and J. Cole did have a great verse on that song, but like
J. Cole is not favorite rapper material to me.
I don't know how you could want to go to a concert and like be like, man, this is the best. Could you go to a J. Cole concert and him being your favorite and be like, man, this is the best concert I've ever been to? Probably not.
J. Cole does good concerts, though.
I'm not saying he's not good in concert. I've never seen him in concert, but I guess I'm just saying from a comparison standpoint, which is what makes Kanye to me like the ultimate artist. His concerts are fucking great.
Speaking of concerts,
like there's not too many artists that can do it all. Like everything, the merch, like everything, the beat, the fucking album cover, like everything.
You know what concert I'm going to?
Kendrick and SZA.
Yeah.
You excited?
Yeah, absolutely. That Kendrick in concert is great for one.
The only time I've seen him live would be at Morehouse.
That don't count.
I know. I don't. He's performing. ADHD was like the hype song for him at that time.
Yeah, and he doesn't have as much creative control with the set and all of that stuff, you know. When you're only doing
I think it'll be interesting though, because he's doing a stadium. In a weird way, I thought it was I'm not gonna say an odd move, because I'm curious as to I don't know. I get it. They'll say it's sold out. I don't know if it's gonna be sold out.
I'll report from the floor in April.
Let me know, because I think SZA is pretty popular, obviously, but like, and obviously he is too. He's about to do the Super Bowl. I mean, that says enough, right? But like,
I mean, V103 is going to give away 2,000 tickets.
This is what I'm saying. But remember how Mercedes-Benz is set up? There's that 400, even Falcons game, that shit covered. So like,
they're selling in the 300s.
I don't think it'll be sold out though.
I just know tickets in the 300s were for sale.
Put it this way. There's only, and obviously you have a stadium tour, you'll probably have some sort of a supporting artist with you, which SZA I think is a good pick for him, not only because they were label mates, but she's super popular and women and men can do this. But I think there's only like maybe 3 rap artists that could actually sell out a stadium.
I don't know if there's 3 who can do it by themselves. Eminem did it.
He's one of the ones that he's someone I was going to name.
I don't think
his popularity. He could do it. I think Kanye could do it.
No.
I do. I think he's popular enough. I mean,
I think
he sat up and didn't say a word and walked around, and he got the 100s and 200s completely packed out.
Yeah, but I don't think that
unfinished music.
I don't think today Kanye can't do it because
maybe not today,
because he's not going to have the proper support to make sure that it happens. You know what I mean? Like Live Nation ain't rocking with him. All the people who make sure that you sell it out, and I'm not even saying the label buying tickets and giving them away. You know, I ain't even talking about that. Just the machine that you need behind you to do a stadium tour. I don't think Kanye can do that. And Drake, I don't think he can do it by himself. Maybe
he could do it.
Maybe
he could do it. I think he can do it.
But why isn't he doing it then?
He's not going to sell out. I don't think. Well, because he already does it. He has 3 shows at State Farm, and they all sell out, and that's 19,000 capacity. So you do the math, right? That's basically, let's just say it's 60 in 3 nights in a city like Atlanta. He basically could get that. He could get it. I think he could do it. He wouldn't do, but nobody would be by themselves. I mean, him and Kanye did a one-time concert at that LA Coliseum, and that's an 80,000 seater. I don't think it was completely. There was clearly parts covered, but it was sold out for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like in there. Like who's going, like, because a lot of people are getting priced out of this concert.
You bought yours directly through the Falcons?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, anyone in the secondary market, yeah. Our buddy Hayes, I think you met Hayes. You met Hayes Wood, right?
I think so, yeah.
Shout out to Hayes. Hayes, he texted me and Justice like 2 days ago, and he was like, should I buy Kendrick Lamar tickets? I say, yeah, you'll definitely be able to double your money at least. But
I thought about getting like 3 or 4 tickets to sell.
Not a bad call.
I thought about it, and I was like, yeah. I've had bad luck trying to flip stuff.
It can happen. I mean,
like
Beyonce, the easiest thing to flip is football tickets. Like,
I tried to flip I tried to flip Grizzlies tickets, and it was and I bought them the last year of their tanking year. They started tanking.
Grizzlies tickets. Like
yeah.
Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah, I was a Memphis Grizzlies season ticket holder.
When and why?
First year out of college. Cam worked in the sales department. So I got him some commission.
Okay.
And the year before they had like a over 90% resale rate.
Okay.
But then they tanked the year that I bought tickets, and I wasn't following them well enough to know that they were about to tank. I made my money back, but
Sure you
barely.
did.
I mean, because there's just certain opponents who come into town.
And we'll command the Lakers always. Like the Lakers will be here on Friday. That'll be, they're here tomorrow. I mean, but
Well, I was looking at tickets for that game, and I was like,
yeah, I've seen LeBron play so much, anyways. And granted, I know he's about to retire soon. He's not retiring this year.
But I haven't seen AD play, so that's what I was. Yeah,
you've seen the nigga in the casino.
True.
And I know that's not the same.
But I just saw what I was going to have to pay for where I wanted to sit. I was just, no, man. I'm not spending that much money to watch basketball.
Not a regular season game.
Yeah, it's not even playoffs.
So, and that offer still is extended to, I'll be out in Vegas next week. And apparently the day I get there, it will be NBA Cup semifinal games.
No, that is my family comes back that Monday.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think I need to be there.
Be there. Oh, no doubt. But
I think I got to be there to pick them up from the airport.
You know what's crazy? You could literally, as crazy as it sounds, have turned that into the trip. That way, whomever your wife flies back with has a short hop to Vegas. Now, granted, you won't get to have the fun you would really want to have in Vegas, but it's a short hop for whomever that is. They meet you there. Can have a good time. Still. Who knows? And then take it back together.
Name somebody who goes, I want to go with my wife to Vegas.
I don't know. I'm not married. I mean, but
nah, you take your wife to Vegas because
I think that when I'm older, I undoubtedly I'm gonna do it. I thought about maybe like even now. It's not something I'm just like looking forward to or anything. But one day my daughter's probably gonna want to go. She's like, "Well, you like going?" And I would take her. And I'm not talking.
You can take your kids to Vegas,
but I'm just saying she could be like 15.
Yeah, no, that's when you take your wife to Vegas.
This is what I'm saying, though.
When you and a couple other families, y'all go out there together.
Stay at the New York, right?
Yeah, I mean, because you don't want to do just your family to Vegas. Because if you do the multi-family deal, right?
You could be like the National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation. Be like Clark Griswold. They were like 18 when they went. Nick Papagiorgio, fake IDs and shit. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, when you go out with multiple families, the guys can get a night to go out. The chicks can get a night to go out. That one couple who doesn't like going out can watch the kids while the couples who like to have fun go out. You can kind of mix it up. But when it's just you and your family, you're dragging them little fuckers with you everywhere.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then your wife's getting pissed off because you're going down to the tables at 1 a.m. And you don't come back till 7.
And then you might come back empty-handed. That's the real double whammy.
But what she didn't know was you didn't really go to the tables. You went to what's that club called? Everybody goes to
Dre's.
Yeah, you're Dre's.
What an overrated place, too, by the way. But
never been.
But I'm not a clubber either, for what it's worth. I'll say this much. Aria actually has a nice one. Was that Wicks again? No, it's Jaden Reed. Good. I took Wicks's under.
Okay.
They had it at 3.5. I'm like, man, that motherfucker's not getting 4 catches.
I should have rolled.
That nigga is not getting 4 fucking catches. They should probably go for this.
Yeah. So
they caught it incomplete.
Yeah. So I only like going to the club if I'm with like a group and there's some familiar chicks there. I don't even have to know them. Like they just need to be familiar with somebody in the group, and then you kind of like break out like that. Or if it's just a one-on-one in the club.
Something where it can be everybody can do their thing. We can meet up again.
Yeah,
there's so much to do out there. Like there's shopping. Like there's a ton of shopping.
I was just talking about going to the club. I ain't talking about Vegas.
Oh.
How do you have a podcast with someone who doesn't listen to you?
I am listening. I just thought you were still talking about it.
No, I was talking about just going to the club. Like I'll go to the club like with my wife. That's fun. Or
y'all did it. I mean, I guess we all did technically. I didn't go to wherever y'all went after. Is what it was.
Ooh.
I went to where my.
Oh no, you talking about Boink's wedding?
Yeah.
Oh no, she didn't go with me that night.
Did you guys go out? Oh well, yeah. Never mind.
No, we didn't go out after Gamble's wedding either.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Nah, I wasn't rocking with it. I was trying to get back to the room and get active. I knew if I went to the club, I was gonna get too drunk to get active.
Packers are looking real fraudulent.
Yeah, I know. Going to the club after a wedding is actually nuts. I don't know why that's a thing.
I think it's only a thing here. Because I'll tell you this much, even for Nigo's wedding, yeah, we ended up falling. I fell asleep. I went up because my phone was dying, so I had to charge it. Katora was not going to go out anyways, which I was fine with. We were going to go to the casino. That's what we were going to go after there.
Changa, huh?
Yeah. And like, I wanted to go. Like, I 100% wanted to go, obviously. But like, I took my like 4 In-N-Out burgers I took because it was, all you could eat. And man, I put my phone on that charger. Man, 10 minutes later, I don't remember anything because I fell asleep. So like, now I woke up and I still ate the burger.
That happened to me.
But I ate one.
That happened to me one time after Marine Corps ball. Me and my date, we went back to the room to charge the phones. And we was asleep.
It was a lot of, man, you got to think about it too. That's the other part of it. You've already consumed too much alcohol, and everybody knows it because it's open bar. So because you consume so much alcohol, it catches it catches up to you. If you sit down for too long, or if you lay out just to wait, you're done. You won't make it.
Yeah, you want to hear a funny story?
I do.
This was also after I won't frame it that much. Anyways, young lady was in town. This was years ago. Years ago.
Of course.
We went out and we were gonna go out and do something. We came back to the room, talking. She goes to take that pre-sex piss.
Okay.
I wake up. It's time to go to the airport.
Wow. And I'm the worst with that too. I will go to sleep, and man, I oversleep.
I'm well aware.
I will oversleep, no doubt. Like
I've traveled with you before.
Well, no, I'm really good about travel because I don't want to miss flights. But with the pass, it makes I can kind of maneuver around it.
No. I'm not talking about like the missing the flights thing. I'm just talking about, you coming out to the West Coast and being the last person to wake up in the morning.
I also probably am the only person that was coming from the East. Everybody else was living out there at the time. So
yeah, but you're 3 hours ahead. Your body clock should have you up at 7.
Not if I'm out until 4 local time. And actually, typically it's longer than that because if we don't get back till 3, that really means it's 6 on the East Coast. So, I'm asleep.
Any excuse to do.
I will stay up all night.
You know what? I'm gonna call Josh Holsey.
Call Josh Holsey. Because I'll
So,
stay up all night, though. That's the thing. I'll be the last person to go to sleep, too. So,
or you'll skip a nap.
which is fair.
What up?
Josh Holsey, you're on the pod. Real quick, got a question for you. And our
About football?
kind of.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to go to the fucking playoffs?
That's not what I called you for.
Do you think the Eagles are going to go to the playoffs? Or do you think my fantasy team is going to go to the playoffs?
Well, we know that you guys.
answer to both
We know
of
the
those is
Eagles
yes.
are going to the playoffs. Are the other Eagles going to the playoffs?
The Booze Hounds.
No,
I think they
they're
will.
the Dog
Because
Pound.
all I need is to win this week and for either Dell or Jew to lose.
Hey, we call him
and
Julian Turner
I
on this
expect-
broadcast.
I expect Pierce Hodges to do his job this week.
Well,
And
my
then
team
Dell's
is
playing the
set.
best team in the league right now. So,
Well, I've got a quarterback and a kicker out this weekend. My kicker is playing right now, and they don't have any points. So,
But question, Josh,
well, you need to tell them boys to step it up.
who is the last person to wake up if we all are like at an Airbnb together?
Come on, man. You know that's Pierce Hodges.
yeah. And like I said, here's the thing about that, though. Typically, am I not the person coming from the East Coast, too?
You're the person.
Say again, Josh.
I couldn't hear Pierce's comment.
He said, but he's the person that will be coming from the East Coast. But I felt like the same thing
No,
happened at Boink's bachelor party
when we
too.
when we come to the East Coast from the West Coast, it still happens.
I'm probably the last person to go to sleep, too, though.
You are.
All right, so there we go. I mean, look, these are it. Then the math makes sense. Last one to go to sleep. Why would I be the first one to wake up? This isn't football. I'm not trying to get a fucking quarterbacking job for the Titans, right? I don't need to be the last one to leave and the first one there. All right, like.
I mean, this guy he misses breakfast.
People
Doesn't
just
he,
wake up
Josh?
at your house. People wake up at his house thinking, all right, well, is the gang gonna go get breakfast? And Pierce is asleep till fucking 2 p.m.
Or you're waiting to get into his house to like go to the Falcons game and you want to pregame.
Well, that's not
Well,
true.
yeah,
I've been awake for that.
And you don't want to look like a belligerent asshole just in the parking lot taking shots and drinking beers.
Well, yeah. But all I need is either Pierce to beat Jew or
You Turner, guys.
Yeah, Julian Turner. Yes, Julian Turner.
either Pierce is gonna beat him or JT, who's on a win streak, is gonna beat Dell. So I just gotta beat Nico.
I'm gonna lose the gambles this week.
Well, here's the thing. The thought would be, I'm not trying to be funny. The thought would be that based on what we've seen all season, Jew's going to lose. Julian Turner's going to lose because Lamar Jackson's not playing. That's his best player. And he's going against a team that's beating everybody by 20 except one person.
So there you go. We'll see.
All right.
I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna get back to watching this game.
It's a commercial break, Josh.
Need Josh Jacobs to get some numbers.
Hey, thanks, man.
We appreciate your time, Josh.
How much does he hate that
Hate what?
when we call him?
Not as much as he wants to let on.
Yeah. Yeah. He wants us to think he really hates it, but he likes when we call him.
Yeah. Well, that's why I answered.
Josh is probably he's probably the best friend to annoy.
Well, he's kind of like Kawhi. He's a fun guy, you know?
That's crazy.
Crazy about that.
Did you see Julian and JP's back and forth today? About Mike Tomlin. I really got him going with that Anscape article. Because, Anscape is just liberal black people.
No, here, hold on. I'm going to go in. Let me look.
Yeah, so Anscape put out an article pretty much just saying, is Mike Tomlin overly criticized because he's black? He's the only coach who hasn't had a losing season and he's been coaching for 17 years or something like that.
Everybody, at the end of the day, that's still a hell of an accomplishment, and ultimately he's won one. So like, I don't feel like there's only but so much you can still say about the man. Like, yeah, it's his favorite team. So like, of course he's going to have a differing opinion from anyone because he follows it the closest. But like,
and he wants to win Super Bowl every year.
And he has to realize that there's none of our friends, anyone that any of us are a fan of, we would take that as our coach. Like, whether you're a Commanders / Redskin fan, what have they done? Like, and that's something I used to tell Dale, Matt, and JP. I used to be like, I'm like, bro, they won Super Bowls basically when everybody was born. That was the last time that I guess they won one in the early night, like 90, 91. I know the Giants won a couple too, and that was before the Cowboys started winning theirs again, at least. But none of our teams, the Eagles recently won one. Like, the Eagles haven't been a successful franchise. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, they were good in the 2000s, but they never got over the hump. And so I think we would all trade our experiences as fans
with Julian's experience.
Have that, yeah.
He's seen 2 Super Bowls, and he's gone to 3, and he has not
seen a losing season since he was
an early teenager,
fucking in grade school.
Yeah,
not like elementary school, primary school, like
yeah.
And the coach is black. So like, if you're into that, if that's like psychologically, even the idea of it being a black coach helps. I mean, what more could you want? Like,
and he hasn't been great in the playoffs recently, but if you watch the games and contextualize it, yeah, he probably shouldn't have lost to Jacksonville, but that Jacksonville team should have
beat New England.
Yeah, so it's like getting beat by Brady and Belichick in the playoffs. I don't care if it happens consistently. Who cares? Getting beat by Peyton Manning in the playoffs, bro, that just happens.
And this is my point. Look at who's been winning. It's been fucking Brady, now Mahomes. Like, these are the teams that have been winning. It's like you're going against generational like players.
Getting beat by Josh Allen last year after they pushed the game to like a Monday or a Tuesday because the weather was so bad. Well,
and they were in it. It was like that ended up being like a 7-point game. Yeah. Now, granted, it was like a garbage time TD to make it that, but you get my point.
But
they did it with what was technically their backup quarterback. That was their backup quarterback. That was not the guy that started the season.
And if they would have played the game in the bad weather, they may would have had a chance, you know? The Baker game, you can't blame that game on Tomlin.
Yeah.
You can't blame that on Tomlin.
Well, that was an overrated team that started 11-0. But like, at the same time, if there's one to be upset about, it really might be that one, just because they got cooked by a team that they had no business ever getting cooked by.
I agree.
They won a playoff game in how long before that?
I don't think any of the players were born or some crazy shit like that.
And it was like they were at home, so like, I mean, that's a little.
But you don't, if you watch that game, the 3 turnovers, like the bad snap,
like started the game.
Yeah.
But that was the old Ben that was clearly done by that point too.
But that's not Tomlin. Tomlin has nothing to do with a bad snap. Tomlin has nothing to do with like the egregious picks that Ben threw.
Yeah,
it's not coaching.
Well, he could take him out, but I mean, yes.
He can't take Ben out.
He could have.
No, he couldn't.
If Roz got some stones, if we get blown out, which I guess this is a perfect way to transition to Falcons first. If Roz got some stones, he'll fucking take Cousins out if we lose this game.
Yeah,
because we'll already know the writing's on the wall for Kirk. Now, even if he finishes the season, what will you get for him? Like, if we finish 8-9, 9-8, what do you get? And we don't make the playoffs. What do you even get for Kirk Cousins, even if he does finish the season?
Can we
still nothing?
Can we get a 4 and they take on some salary? I'll take a 5 if they take on some salary.
Somebody's gonna want to have to take on, because that's $50 million.
But
so get them to do half.
But if we're gonna have to keep the salary, then I think we can get a 3.
I don't think so. I think that the way that he's played at this point, a lot of his numbers are inflated by those Bucs games, and that's like the thing. It'd be one thing if he was relatively consistent the whole way through. He didn't play bad against Kansas City. no doubt. Like, I thought he played pretty well in that game. He played, obviously, the Philly game was the game that everybody was like, well, all fucking right. Let's go. And then the Tampa games. And that was kind of it. Outside of that, he hasn't played well. And so, and certainly this last 3-game stretch has left such a bad taste in anyone that watches Falcons football's mouth. And the thing is that you can't blame it on anything else. And I say that because, yes, the defense certainly let us down against the Broncos, got whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
But, I mean, shit, he didn't do shit against their defense. That was the worst game of the season. Even the Seattle game was better than that. Like, that was just the worst game of the season. All 3 phases.
Yeah.
Was terrible in that game. But this Chargers game, that was on him. The Saints game, cool. But he also threw a kind of costly pick, and he had that fumble. I know that's kind of the O-line, but, like, he had the fumble that pushed us back to where he had to make that throw inbounds, which was stupid too. It was 4th down, and we're throwing below the sticks with no timeouts in like 10 seconds.
That's the Kirk Cousins special.
This is what I'm saying, though. So, like,
and if Kirk was better in drives, we would ask less of Koo.
One day, Kirk Cousins is going to be on a podcast in the next 2 to 3 years, and he's going to talk about this whole Atlanta thing in terms of them drafting Penix and how it caught him off guard. He's going to have his time to talk about it. I think that the relationship got off on the wrong foot, and then it seemed like it was working well because you got Sports Center specials, on Sunday morning countdown of him doing the swag surf. They got FLY on there. Like, everybody's talking about it. And the city is embracing him. His Kirk coach changes, all this stuff that everybody did want. And then these 3 things are going to happen. And then he's going to come out and he's going to say he was never healthy.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely
because he doesn't, honestly, for what it's kind of worth, he kind of doesn't look healthy.
No.
But, like, that also gives an excuse for, like, some of the egregious throws that he's making, too. This is going to be hard to swallow if they don't somehow come up with this upset win. And it's a perfect storm. He's been slumping, and he gets to go against his former team that didn't want to pay him what we're paying him, but did want him back. Like, they wanted him back. But he also said that he didn't want to be there because he knew that they were going to draft a quarterback, that he didn't want to be a part of that. And then we went and did it kind of without notice for him. And so, I don't know. It just seems like look at that. There we go. Christian Watson. Oh, he fumbled. Oh, he's probably down, though.
No.
You don't think he was down?
I'm ahead of you.
His hip looked like it hit.
Nah, I'm ahead of you. He wasn't down.
Wow.
Is Quay Walker a good NFL player?
He's a nigga. That's what he is.
Yeah, so I don't think Kirk should lose his job this week. I think if he plays terribly against Minnesota, it's a conversation. But if he goes out there and he lights it up,
Yeah, we lose like that, sure. Yeah, you don't that, but like,
who cares?
But if he plays the way he's played the last 3 weeks, at this point, I'm more in favor of benching him and just let's roll with Penix the rest of the way because he's not going to be back next year, and that's like kind of to me. We don't. That is the real writing on the wall. He's not going to be back next year. So if we're already assuming Tampa wins on Sunday against the Raiders at home, we're already going to be a game behind for the division.
Yep.
We need to go with maybe who potentially gives us the best chance to win. I don't know if that's the case, but Ra's got to make that decision. And I guess that's how we kind of started the segment. Ra has to make that decision. And I don't know, because we haven't seen Ra coaching so fucking long. Like, I don't know really what Ra's demeanor is when it comes to that type of stuff. Because, like we said, he likes to be called Ra, not coach. And so
I don't like that.
Well, we know that Penix has an arm, and we know that he can run too. We know that he can run. He's not a runner, but he can run.
Yeah.
And yeah, he might make those rookie mistakes, but fuck, it seems like all the other rookies are actually playing pretty well. Caleb Williams, since they made the OC firing, has looked great. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. Bo Nix is pushing up on him. Drake May has not looked bad. Like the Patriots are competent with him at quarterback. Why not see what our guy is?
And here's the thing.
He's got an arm.
I don't think
he had the best arm in the draft.
Yeah, I don't think you bench Kirk Cousins.
I think you do.
No, listen to me. You report the injury.
You want to Mariota this thing?
You want to try to keep its value high if you can. You don't bench him. He re-aggravated his Achilles. He re-aggravated his Achilles, or he hurt something.
That makes it even worse. Then nobody really is going to want to touch him.
Well, maybe they will if they're desperate, because it can speak to why his play fell off because of the injury. It explains the bad play. Even though you're benching him because he's not playing well and he's also hurt.
And that's not fooling anybody. That's my point. Like, I don't know, man.
It may not fool anybody, but if the Titans don't get who they want.
Yes. Well, this is the positive is that this is a weak quarterback draft.
Yeah, there's 2 quarterbacks that people want.
Who's the second one?
Cam Ward. I don't believe. Yeah.
I like, I thought Cam, if he had came out last year, that he would have been perfect for us in the second round. Because I liked Cam Ward. Like, I've thought Cam Ward was pretty good, but like, we'll see. But yes, you're right. Because Carson Beck, unless he mows through the fucking college football playoffs, he ain't a first round pick. Quinn Ewers, I don't know how Quinn Ewers can't be drafted to a bad team. Like, he's the type of guy that would have to get drafted by, like, I'm trying to think of a ready-made team. Like the Jets, if the Jets could get Quinn Ewers in the second or third round, maybe that's something you look at, like a team that's got pieces and talent. But the Jets are also really bad at drafting quarterbacks, and that's so obvious. So it's like,
or Quinn would have to go to
or back too. I'm saying like either or, like if they went in the but not in the first round, like, or
if they went to the Rams late, if they went to the Rams in the second or third round,
can start in 2 years.
Yeah. With a great play caller.
Yeah,
because they're going to need that too.
Yeah, it's a rough draft, but even more of a reason why I think you can move off of him now if he plays poorly on Sunday. I hope he doesn't. I hope he lights them up. They actually have one of the worst. As good as their defense is, their secondary is actually the issue. So, because we've been running the ball well. Like, Bijan's been having good games.
Yeah,
So I know it's not our running game. Actually, here's the thing. We're good on first and second down. We are bad on third down, and we're bad in the red zone. We don't play situational football very well. And that is why we find ourselves in these positions that we're in.
And I think it's because we become so predictable.
We have coaching errors and we have player errors. And it works against us. Like, it works against us every fucking week.
Question. Do you think with the moves that we made this offseason, we would have been a better team with Ryan Nielsen and Arthur Smith?
I don't know. I mean, possibly. And the reason I say that is because, well, this is the reason I'll even say it. For one, these are the guys that he drafted. But then two, I look at the Matt Ryan year because that's the best way to compare the Kirk Cousins aspect of it. We shouldn't have went 7-10 that year, and we did his last year. And people forget that Matt didn't play great.
No, he was bad.
Matt didn't play poorly.
No. Take off your number 2 jersey. He was bad.
Hold on. We'll pull up the numbers.
No, we were at the games.
You know how bad that offensive line was? If you remember, we played the Eagles week 1 that year.
Yeah, I remember.
A picture of him like with crime scenes, they'll draw around, chalk around the body. The O-line was bad. He got sacked like 8 times. Like, we had a bad offensive line. And remember, Kyle Pitts was his only weapon. Calvin really played in like 3 games that year. Like, I'm just saying. There
I know.
who's the fucking running back? Was that
No,
was
the-
the year? So
No, it was
Todd
Gurley.
Gurley? No, it wasn't Todd Gurley. Who's the running back?
It was Gurley, wasn't it?
No, not Arthur Smith's first year. Todd Gurley was there the year that Quinn got fired because of that Detroit game, if you remember. I'll never forget it. And he only played with us for 1 year. So this is my point. Exactly. We're having a hard time even remember who the fuck.
But the thing is, you can look up the numbers. Matt Ryan had a bad line. Cool. He still sucked.
It wasn't a bad line. Like, it wasn't great is what it was.
He took third down sacks and threw timely picks.
Matt threw for 4,000 yards, 67% completion percentage, 20 TDs, 12 picks. Kirk's got more picks already. So, like, I guess my point is this when it comes to the Arthur Smith aspect of it and Nielsen. I thought the defense showed progression last year. We added more to it. Rod's the defensive coach. The defense is fucking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I've seen them look really bad. I've seen them look really good too. They looked really good last week. Like, they played well enough for us to win. They played well enough for us to win against the Chiefs. They played well enough for us to win
Against the Eagles.
We did against the Steelers and against the Eagles too. Like, they started the season off well, then they kind of plateaued. Like, the Tampa games were examples of that. Like, the defense did not play well in those games.
Well, Tampa is a talented offense.
It is, and we outscored them, right? And that's another. They got a defense coach. But my point is this: with Kirk Cousins, I don't know if it would have been beneficial for Arthur Smith. Like, based on what we saw with Matt, because that's the closest comparison we could get, I would only think that we would win more games. We'd have to. We would almost have to win. And it's still to be announced, right? Like, because the season's not over, so we don't know how many games we're going to win. I have to imagine we're going to win more than 7 games. We're going to win at least 8. We're going to win 2 more games this year.
But so, yes or no, would this year's team, as constructed, be better with Arthur Smith and Ryan Nielsen?
I don't know. The running game is about the same to me. Like, so I guess we're asking, would he have been better with Kirk than Rod and Zach are? Like,
yeah, that's the question. Arthur Smith is a better OC than Zach.
But it feel like it depends on, is Kirk Cousins really healthy? Because if not, then I don't think it makes a difference. If he is healthy and he's just playing bad,
who's a better OC, Arthur Smith or Zach Robinson?
Well, Arthur, you'd have to say he is, because he's already been one, and he's having so much success right now. Now, here's the real kicker is this. Clearly, we made a mistake by paying Kirk Cousins and not just getting Russell Wilson for $1 million, which I think even in our scenario of drafting Penix made way more sense, because then you could have signed Danielle Hunter. And maybe you still get Judon. I don't know.
Does Sierra want to come back home? You know who's here?
Because I wouldn't have wanted Justin Fields to be that would not have been like.
I'd take Gardner Minshew over Justin Fields.
Okay with Russ because of the price tag. Now, here's another, but there's wrinkles to that. Let's say he did come here and he still had that calf injury. If you have Penix and Penix starts the first 5 games, 6 games, whatever it was that Justin Fields started, what's our record? Like, there's so much stuff. Like, does he play well enough to where Russ doesn't even fucking get the start? Like, we don't know.
Well, look, the Falcons, they don't practice. So there's no way in hell that Russ would have been pushing a sled at Falcons practice. We don't have the physical practices that Pittsburgh has.
Sure. I mean, you would think
Michael
that
Penix
Rod's a guy that's been around like good coaching staffs. So I just,
but he comes from McVay, and I don't think they're very physical at practice.
They had arguably what some would say, some think the best defensive player. Obviously, Bill Belichick would disagree.
I mean, but
certainly the best modern, or not modern, but the best of the last 20 of this century, maybe the best defensive player the NFL has had.
Yeah, and that has nothing to do with McVay.
But I'm just saying he was running the defense. So, like, I'm just saying he's a physical dude, clearly. So, like, I'm like, And
But
maybe that's just one player in his mindset.
Yeah.
But look at Jared Verse. Jared Verse is going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Somebody we could have drafted at 8. 2, that was brought up. He's a game record. Like, I see that shit. Like, when we watch the Rams, he's the best. He's the best nigga on the line. Like, and it's obvious.
Yeah, like he even if he doesn't get a pressure or a sack, you see him pop off
He's
the.
there. Yeah, he's there.
I mean, we had a pass rush on Sunday.
Put it this way: if we lose this game on Sunday, let's say it's we lose 28-24.
Uh-huh.
And the reason we lost was because we were up 24-21 and Sam Darnold drove the field, and on a 3rd and goal with 29 seconds left at the 8-yard line, he finds Jettis in the corner.
And AJ Terrell.
It's just not enough time for Kirk to realistically get down the field and score a touchdown. But Kirk throws for 300, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers.
Okay.
What do you do? But Bijan's held in check. He's got 16 carries, 60 yards. And Algiers got 5 carries for 12. What do you do? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Kirk's the starter.
Well, no, I know Kirk's the starter, but you're in a position now where it's win out. You have to. Because then you've got to hope that Tampa loses, which I think Tampa will lose again. I just only think they're going to lose once. They've only got 2 losable games on their schedule, and that's at Dallas and at LA.
It's the NFL.
Yeah, any given Sunday. But, like, there's only 2 that we can look at. Just like, hell, we could lose to the Giants at home. We could lose to Carolina at the end of the season. Like, but let's just count it for what it actually is. They can lose to Dallas. I can see them losing to Dallas, and I can see them losing to the Chargers. But they'll end up splitting one of those games. We have to win out. What do you do after the season if you finish? Let's see,
say 9-8,
10-7, 9-8, but don't win the division. What direction do you go in? Do you just let? I guess that maybe Kirk builds up more value to where maybe you can get a 3 if you take on his salary, because it doesn't matter. We don't have any money in the quarterback position anyways. So it's kind of like you're just paying in a weird way, the cap wise, at least it counts against Penix as if you're already paying.
Well, part of the way you look at it is, hey, we didn't meet expectations, but we got better. We're moving in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we got overhyped about who we were at the beginning of the year. And so now we have to, as a staff, as an organization, look at where we can be better.
Okay.
Because then you can start pinpointing games that you lost and decisions that you made and start to find a consistency there. It's like, hey, we're either going to pay a kicker or we're going to use a draft pick to go get a kicker. We're going to draft a kicker in the 5th. We're not going to wait and get an undrafted free agent because we want to make sure we get the best guy coming out of college, you know?
Right.
It's, hey, maybe we look for a new DC or bring in a defensive position coach, but a seasoned guy to, like, you know, like a new D-line coach. And we shake up the D-line, or we get better on the D-line in the draft, in the top of the draft, you know. We go after a good corner.
But we're going to be so hamstrung by the Cousins contract if we can't get off of it.
We will be, but again, that's where it's get smart at the draft. Find those random undrafted free agent guys who are really good, but maybe the guy was undersized. Maybe the guy got in trouble. Maybe he's a little bit overweight, or he didn't test well, but his film's good. You know, you got to like get creative and find like and take some cheap chances. So like if the person doesn't work out, you can cut them and you don't lose anything.
Right.
You got to find good cheap labor, and maybe you go up and talk to Arthur Blank and Rich McKay and Terry Fontenot, and you get Arthur. You kind of create a mutiny in there. Maybe you get Arthur to realize that Rich McKay can't hurt him, and that he can let Terry Fontenot go, and he can let Rich McKay let Rich McKay go. You know, hey Rich, we're gonna put you in a circle of honor this year. Your key card doesn't work, buddy. You got to call. I mean, because if you're 9-8, 10-7, you're close, and it's better than you've been. So I don't think you burn down the house. You know, I don't think we bought this property to knock it over and build ground up. I think we can just remodel a little bit. You know, maybe we just take out the carpet and put in hardwood floors.
Sure. I mean, look, you make good points. I think that we're just in a state of this game is going to be so important. The Chargers game was really important. And I think the idea of losing to a team that came from the West Coast that had a short week after you came off of bye is concerning. And like, it's like one of those things where
But Kirk was so bad.
I would not be surprised at all if we won on Sunday. I'm not going to put money on it, but like, I wouldn't be surprised because even the way that, and just from a betting standpoint, even the odds line up with the same way that the Eagles game looked. We're coming off of a game where Kirk Cousins looked fucking terrible, and we're going on the road against a playoff team. And Kirk Cousins won that game, right? So like, and this one means something to him. It should mean a little bit more to him.
But Kirk was so bad on Sunday.
Yeah, it was the worst game maybe of his career that I can remember watching.
As a fan, I can't be mad at my coach because we moved the ball. Kirk threw a pick six. We lost by less than a touchdown.
He threw one in the end zone that cost you
Kirk,
three. Assuming
Kirk threw one. Yeah, Kirk threw one in the red zone. We were in the red zone, so it wasn't just an end zone pick, right? Where he threw a deep ball. No. We were in the red zone. We driven the field. Boom. Koo misses what, 1 or 2 Sunday?
1. He only got to attempt 1.
Yeah, Koo missed 1, and you go, oh no, we won the game. Like, no, we, as a coaching staff, we prepared for this team properly. Justin Herbert couldn't do shit. Yeah, Lad McConkey had some big numbers.
Well, that's all it was.
But that's all it was. So that tells me we let them have that, and we just lost. So as a coach, I'm not. I don't know. But look, we've been here too long. We've been on Falcons too long.
Look, the Falcons have been. This is in.
We still got to talk college football. We got to talk a little NBA.
This game is so important, and I think that the state of this franchise, especially because last week we didn't have to talk about it because they were on bye. This is up there in one of those in terms of the disappointing games that I've seen.
Oh yeah, I mean,
especially because it would be one thing if we got beat. It's like we beat ourselves. So it's just, I don't know. That's a disappointing loss. I don't think the Chargers are that good, but that's just me.
Same. All right, which direction do you want to go? Is there any more NFL stuff that we actually care about? CMC.
I mean, Cartersville Jones' head got taken off on Sunday. I mean, we could touch that. Like, did you think that touchdown Jacobs? Huh? Well, I mean, you saw it, but did you think that did you think that it was worthy of suspension? And then 2, if it wasn't worthy of suspension, whose fault was that?
All right, so worthy of suspension, the hit itself, I don't think so, but I wouldn't be mad at one game.
Okay, so you thought that the punishment was harsh for sure.
Absolutely. There's not much that should get you a 3-game suspension. Like it's a 17-game season. That's entirely too punitive. But I think Trevor slid late, and it was hard for Azeez to stop himself. Now, do I think he is a guy who plays to the back end of the whistle, not the front end of the whistle? Yes. So sometimes if you play to the back end of the whistle, you do things late. But I also think that the look of it, with Trevor going out, with Trevor being a golden boy in the NFL, with the brawl that ensued after, I think that's why you get it to 3 games, because it's the NFL letting you know, hey, dog, you're not going to do this.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, my bigger issue with that and that approach and the way that the linebacker from Houston's been attacked, especially by the media, is bullshit. Yo.
Yeah, they shouldn't be villainizing him.
Right.
I don't like that. Like,
I made a bang bang play, and it may have been late. But the second his teammates could step in to defend him, we don't know what was said on the field, right? And they start trying to fight me. Well, just because I can haul off and whoop all their ass, I didn't try to fight nobody. I was playing football. They made it not football. And now it's my fault because I ain't going for it. It ain't like he got up and was talking shit like, ha, you know what I mean? Like, he hit the dude, and then as soon as he get up, it's somebody in his face. And then he just like, all right, well, if this is what we own, I'm on it.
so
And they couldn't. You saw how he was moving people around, and man.
well, and obviously, I think everybody can say what they want to say, but this certainly came down to his prior incidents. That's just the way it works. Ndamukong Suh, if you remember, bro, there used to be so many times like shit would happen with him. Same thing with Draymond in the NBA. Certain guys just aren't going to get the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Regardless of what it looks like, what it was. And he's not somebody like a Burfict, right? Like where I don't remember this dude being suspended before.
No, it's his first time.
But the point is that there was a lot of stuff I'm sure he's been fined for, and just things that people, when they recall, they're like, oh yeah, that was him. Not gonna get the benefit of the doubt. It did not appear to me that he tried to stop himself, and he did lead like with his forearm. And it, even though it was late, it was a late slide. And I get it. It's like, well, how do you stop yourself? And Tom Brady said it best on Coward.
Yeah.
Defensive players are not playing to protect offensive players, essentially. It's up to offensive players to protect themselves, which I agree with.
And Tom has been big on that because even with throws and stuff, like one thing I like about Tom Brady is Tom Brady is not a pro offense guy. He is a football guy. You know, like
that's why they got him on the big screen these days, you know.
But he's a legit football guy, you know. Like Tom is like, hey, quarterbacks shouldn't throw these lollipops across the middle and then the receiver get his head knocked off and then you're flagging the defensive player. No, the quarterback shouldn't have led him there. So, and the NFL upheld the suspension. You know, Roger swinging his cock and it's just making an example out of him. And
actually, it was John Runyon though.
It's Roger.
Ultimately, sure, but John's the one that's in control. He's the border czar. He is. Is it? I mean, is it a better way to compare it?
There isn't.
He's the border czar.
But Roger made that phone call. Hey, it's 3. I don't care what the PA say. It's 3.
He had to sign off on it, no doubt. We know that though. Damn.
But I just
fucked, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, just football. Football is just getting soft. And I'm not complaining about the approaches towards trying to save play. Like I'm not against them softening up the game, but I think they have to make it fair. And you are just creating so many disadvantages for the defense. And you know, I'm not in favor of finding quarterbacks for late slides. You know, like that's hard to police. But we've seen Patrick Mahomes dance down the sideline and juke like he's going to go out of bounds so he doesn't get hit and he scampers for a 30-yard touchdown.
He's never even taken a crazy hit like that. I know that everybody will bring up that AFC playoff game where he got hit. I guess it was against the Bengals.
Yeah, it was. It was, and that was a late hit, but it was still.
He didn't get hit like that.
No,
damn, his head didn't hit the fucking ground. How about that? Like,
yeah. Did you hear Rex Ryan's take on the slide?
Repeat it, but I remember it being background kind of. Yeah,
he said like open field, no problem with sliding, but if you're around people, if you're going to possibly be engaged in contact, he was like, you should you should dive face first, because when you dive,
contact at that point, just get hit.
Yeah,
absorb it.
I was gonna add that. I was gonna add that to it, but Rex was just like, dive at the defender's ankles, because they are no longer thinking about hitting you. They are going to protect themselves. They're going to get out of the way. I thought that was nice, but no, I'm with you. You're a football player on a football field. I understand you are a quarterback. You have to throw the ball, all of this stuff. But Terry Bradshaw was out there getting rock bottomed. You know what I'm saying? Quarterbacks can take hits and still play quarterback.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, so, bro,
I mean,
brace yourself.
Do you ever remember a more vicious game than that Saints Vikings fucking NFC? And that was an old man Favre getting thrown around like that. And I know it came out, of course, Bounty game, but everybody that watched that game knew that.
I had no problems with the bounties. Like, well, think about it. If you're doing it within the rules of the game, but you're incentivizing your players to be more physical, who cares?
We should have drafted Penei Sewell, by the way, over
Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase.
Or just draft Jamar Chase because he's a fucking receiver, and that's what we were using Pitts for anyway.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
And he was just better.
He had sat out that year or two, though, and I know that shouldn't scare anyone off, but the Bengals licked at it because they already had Burrow, so they were like, "Oh, wow, we've already seen this." But
this works.
Yeah.
Guess what it's doing? Despite their record, it's working.
Looks like a Julio map to me, but we'll continue.
Any other football stuff we care about? Ravens lost the games they shouldn't have. Eagles are kicking ass. Bears fired Eberflus.
Packers are kicking ass. Everybody's getting some ass but us.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears fired Eberflus.
Quickly on that, just because we texted about it briefly, the Shanahan trade thing makes so much sense to me. If they traded Shanahan, if the Bears end up with like the 12th pick, I like the deal. I think it makes sense for Caleb Williams and Chicago. I think now here's the thing for Shanahan. He gets to go to Chicago, another, franchise, in the NFL that's looked at the same way the kind of the 49ers are. Maybe not the same way, but certainly it's a legacy thing.
Yeah.
But like the weapons that he'll have, the only issue with that is that the division that he's in, obviously. Like, that's what's bad about it. Like, they're in what would be considered, certainly today, the hardest division in the NFL.
I mean, but he's coming from the NFC West.
Yeah, which is this year. Well, they're probably better than us because everybody's still in it. But, like, we were expected to be the worst division. So.
But historically, the West
they weren't expected to be the worst division.
No, but historically, the West is a good division. So I don't think the division thing scares them. Here's what I think. Because I've sat with this for a minute. I don't think Kyle Shanahan wants a quarterback as good as Caleb Williams. A quarterback as dynamic as
so much more. I feel like he'll get so much more out of him. I know it's a scheme and a system that he runs, but the reality of it doesn't mean that good players and good systems always works, right? I get that, but I don't know. It feels like it would just open it up more.
But I think that Caleb, there are a lot of things that make Caleb great or make Caleb a great prospect. Stuff that he's very comfortable with that Kyle wouldn't rock with. And you already know, usually that first year in that, like with Matt Ryan, that first year with Shanahan, it wasn't good. Because Matt Ryan
thinks, yeah.
But Matt Ryan was an established quarterback, a top 10 quarterback. in the league. So Kyle can come in with this stuff, but Matt can be like, fuck no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he has the autonomy to do it.
Yeah. So so they had to work through that for a year. Now you take Kyle, who wants his quarterback to be damn near a robot. Like if Kyle could just grab the joystick and control his quarterback, he would.
Matt Ryan got Kyle Shanahan that job.
Sure.
He did.
I mean, he did, but Kyle Shanahan was due soon. But like Kyle would rather play Madden. I think he would rather play Madden with his quarterback than actually have a quarterback. Hey, here's what we're looking at. But I already know you're gonna put your extra sauce on it and work with that.
I gotta say, Laporte was getting close to that end zone, wasn't he?
Let's hope so. So I just think that it sounds good, but with Caleb not being a traditional 1-2-3 let it go quarterback, I don't think that works well with Kyle. Kyle needs to make his quarterback. You know how some guys have to be with a woman who they sponsor?
Yeah.
Like they just couldn't imagine being with a woman who was halfway like financially independent. No. I got to get me one who's broke. I got to teach her everything.
So he's got to build her up.
Yeah, I think he's a control freak.
I think the trade makes a ton of sense. I think that would be real interesting to see that.
Wow, quarterback sync with Jared Goff.
He scored?
He did not.
Damn.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
Great. I started him. So fuck you, Dale. But we could move on from the NFL. That was just one of the last things I did want to at least talk about. Was
hold on. No.
By the way, that Bears job, of all the jobs that are currently open and that we anticipate will be open, outside of maybe the 49ers, if he were to get traded, that's going to be the most attractive job this offseason anyways. There is no more of an attractive job than the Bears job. That job is attractive. And you know that the GM's on pins and needles too. So even if the team doesn't, let's say the Bears went 9-8 next year and missed the playoffs because their division is so fucking tough, Poles probably gets fired.
Well, they say Poles is safe. And what I hear is Poles is really just a puppet. And the guy who didn't hire Jim Harbaugh, you know, the Big Ten guy, former Big Ten commissioner.
Yeah.
He's the one that's running the show. That's what I hear. But I heard that from somebody who probably will never work in the NFL again and is very angry.
No, they did say he was short.
One of them put up the touchdown thing. No, we've got
some Jordan 10s, by the way.
Huh?
Golf,
yeah, he plays it. As we transition into college.
Damn, I needed that touchdown. Hopefully he does it again.
Golly, this is just opening up our text thread is just yeah, I mean, it's disgusting. This could be our last NFL topic. I'm sorry, I gotta play this.
All right, Mr. Shad, you invested a lot into this franchise, and now it's time to make the right decision to get a return. The kid you've got down there is a gunslinger. Build it around him. Don't go for the old guard. Go for the young and fresh. Hire Ben, not Bill. Get him a manager like Ray or Ian, and bring in experienced vets like Tony or Fred to offer sound advice and help shape the culture. If you don't take my word for it, listen to our supporters. Heck, even Pete or McAfee and the secretary with a mullet would agree. All right, Mr. Shad, all the best.
What a shot, by the way, at McAfee's, the dude that's on McAfee that does have the mullet, calling him a secretary.
Who's Pete?
I don't know, but I'm saying I know who he was talking about when he said
I know, yeah.
The mullet, though. I knew exactly who he was talking about.
Is he trying to say Pat McAfee?
I don't know. He was so inebriated. There's no telling. That ball is damn near fucking on the goal line.
Do you think Urban was drunker when he made that video? Because for one, he called him Mr. Shad and not Mr. Khan. Calling another grown man Mr. First Name is insane.
Well, we don't know what he called him, though. when he was working for him.
Bro, if a grown man called you Mr. Pierce,
I've been called that before, though.
like, I'll call you Mr. Hodges.
No, I've been called that before. I've been called Mr. Pierce.
Hey, don't call me Mr. First Name unless you are a child.
You know, honestly, I don't like it when people call me Mr. anything. I just honestly, you can just call me Pierce. Like,
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna tell a kid not to call me Mr.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've had to catch myself when kids say like yes sir to me. I'll be like, no, you ain't gotta say all that.
yes, sir.
And I go, oh yeah, no. I am
Well,
33.
I'm going for it.
Oh yeah, you know Dan's fucking nuts or
They're not gonna go for it.
yeah, it's-
You think he is gonna actually go for it? I mean,
I know what he did.
Green Bay will not score,
Yeah, I mean I know what happened.
and they can go up 10. How do you know what happened?
Because my TV's faster than yours.
But they already called. I see the timeout.
Well,
Are you saying that they've already ran the play?
yeah. You over there buffering or something, man? You need
I took it off and then put it back on. And it's still stuck here.
Do you think Urban Meyer should be offering advice to the team that he was coaching 3 years ago?
I think that the Jets have set a precedent for the rest of the NFL. So honestly, I can't even say that he's wrong because Mike Tannenbaum gets to decide the next coaching GM for the Jets after he was just there and he got fired and he makes terrible takes on Get Up. So Gibbs touchdown. Who's that? Julian Turner's got Gibbs.
Yeah.
Right?
And you know,
I got mine passing touchdown, but still.
and Rex is campaigning for the job.
So they want to get the band back together. I mean, look, that's the last time they had success. Was Tannenbaum the GM when Rex was there? Or was he? I thought he was after. Maybe he was a part of both regimes.
Let's see, Mike Tannenbaum.
He is a hot take artist on Get Up.
He was with the Jets from 2000 until 2012.
So yeah, he was there for.
He was pro player development, assistant GM, and director of pro personnel and general manager and senior vice president of football operations from 06 to 12. So yeah, he was there with Rex.
Yeah, but how weird is that, Justice? You didn't even hear the Urban Meyer. At first, Lee's asking about Urban Meyer. I thought he was talking about the statement he made about the Ohio State job. This guy made a whole video advising the Jaguars on what to do.
Like currently?
Yeah, play it again real quickly.
All
And then
right.
we move on from this whole segment, the NFL.
I mean, I have no problem playing this.
I think you'll have to see his face, but play. Yeah, just play it.
All right,
All right.
oh, actually, here's what I can do. Give me a second. I'll pull it up on my computer, and we can share screen.
All right, let's see it.
Let's see, Urban Meyer.
Really inebriated, and it's like, which makes the statement that he made about the Ohio State job, because clearly if these came out on the same day, it's like, so what was he drunk talking about? Like, it's Ryan's job. I don't want any parts of it. Lying through his fucking teeth. If he plans to coach again, certainly it won't be in the NFL. And if it was in college, what better job could he get than that outside of Lincoln Riley getting fired by the USC next year? That would be the only other job that he could get that would be better. Maybe even the LSU job. It just depends on who you think's the better job.
Well, LSU.
I'd want to be in USC.
LSU's not going to be open though. So
It will be next year if they're not a playoff team. Like, they're going to fire the man.
Okay, man. Gotta be.
If they're not in contention, he's getting fired. I don't. Both of them. They're both going to get fired if they're not in contention.
Look here. Link, they couldn't replace Link in USC with Herb anyways, because you got to pay Link $80 million to leave, and then you got to commit over $100 million to Herb to show up. Herb ain't coaching for less than 14 a year.
They're printing money at this point anyways, though.
Jesus Christ. Can we hurry up? What's going on with this janky ass Wi-Fi?
Here, just play it. Just play it. Just let him hear it.
I can look it up.
What I don't want to hear it again.
All right, Mr. Shad, you invested a lot into this franchise, and now it's time to make the right decision to get a return. The kid you've got down there is a gunslinger. Build it around him. Don't go for the old guard. Go for the young and fresh. Hire Ben, not Bill. Get him a manager like Ray or Ian, and bring in experienced vets like Tony or Fred to offer sound advice and help shape the culture. If you don't take my word for it, listen to our supporters. Heck, even Pete or McAfee and the secretary with a mullet would agree. All right, Mr. Shad, all the best.
I think he's reading.
The fuck is he talking about? Our supporters. Who are our supporters? Because he's saying Jaguars fans. It wasn't though. It's not. It's a whole video of him in his living room, like recording himself.
On it, I mean, it came from his page. Lombardi talked about it on the show.
Right.
All right, so college football, man. Where do we start in college football? Do we start with conference championships or do we start with the playoffs? You know, I'll let you steer this ship.
Well, conference championship, because that will still determine the final playoff picture. And, well, actually, you know what? Actually, no. Vice versa. We should start with the playoff because we kind of already know what the playoff is going to be. We just don't know who's going to be in what spot. But we know who's pretty much in. I thought that the explanation that they ended up giving out was...
Hold on. Let me get the teams first, man.
Okay, yeah, pull it up.
We're pulling her up.
And actually, while you do that, I need to grab something real quick.
All right, so as it sits now, we got Oregon in the number 1, Texas number 2. Oh, no, I don't like this. I don't like this one. Here we go. Oregon 1, Texas 2, Penn State 3, Notre Dame 4, Georgia 5, Ohio State 6, Tennessee 7, SMU 8, Indiana 9, Boise 10, Alabama 11, Miami 12, Ole Miss 13, South Carolina 14, Arizona State 15, Iowa State 16, Clemson 17, BYU 18, 19 Missouri, 20 UNLV, 21 Illinois, 22 Syracuse, 23 Colorado, 24 Army, 25 is Memphis. Now, the way the seedings would go based upon these rankings is Oregon is number 1, Texas 2, SMU 3, Boise 4. Those are the top 4 seeds who get a first round bye. In the 9-8 matchup, we would have Tennessee versus Ohio State. Excuse me, Tennessee at Ohio State. That's important. And the winner of that game would play Oregon. Then we have Arizona State at Penn State in the 12-5 because Arizona is assumed to win the Big 12, but because Boise is ranked higher than them, they would get in at the top 4 seed. Then in the 11-6, we would have Alabama at Notre Dame, and then in the winner of that plays SMU, and then in the they gotta fix this. In the 7-10, you got Georgia versus Indiana, who would then play Texas. Now, just looking at that 10-7 matchup, we do not need Georgia, Texas 3.0 in the second round of the playoffs. Nobody wants or needs that. But the committee's made a few things very clear to us. For one, roll hot damn Tide. Because they value Alabama's resume over Miami, over Ole Miss, and over South Carolina. Now, Miami is 2 losses in their ACC team, so y'all over with. Bama's 9-3, Ole Miss is 9-3, and South Carolina is 9-3. And honestly, Alabama has the better resume. And although South Carolina is playing better football right now, Bama beat South Carolina head to head. So, ta-da. But get to the point that you were going to make while I step away for a hot second.
Well, I guess
Eating on a podcast when you have to use your mouth.
hungry. I didn't eat dinner, but
Oh man.
I know. But long story short, I guess the explanation that the committee gave was the most eye-opening thing because it kind of sets a precedent for what the college football playoff is going to look like for years to come, because you can't really change up the way that you're going to allow this first year. Yeah, it could change. I think that there are minute things that could change, like the seeding aspect of it, right? Why is it that if Oregon ends up beating Penn State, they could play potentially the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee, when the lowest seed that maybe could win would be a weaker team? Those are the things that I think that have to get changed. But in terms of the way that they're going to determine who gets in, seems like they've pretty much set the boundary. Whoever's got the toughest schedule is going to get in if they're a good team, and we know that they are, because it's not about record. It is about who you play. You got to be almost flawless and only have one loss to have a weak schedule, i.e. Indiana. Like, Indiana's in. Nobody thought Indiana would be in the college football playoff, but they're in. Tennessee's in. Ohio State's in. All these teams that don't have to play are in, that were already in. Alabama is literally the only one that would have to potentially worry. And that would just be a matter of how much they value going to a conference championship. Because if SMU loses to Clemson, SMU only has 2 losses, and those losses would be to Clemson in a championship game and BYU, who's a ranked team. And they lost that game on the road. They've got this thing already figured out in terms of how they're going to continue to do this moving forward for years to come. The only thing that I think that will get adjusted it'll be just like the NFL, where the lowest seed eventually ends up playing the 1, as opposed to it being 8-9 versus the 1.
Yeah, I don't like this bracket. It's nonsense.
Well, they're doing it just like college basketball.
And even the way it's set up right now, if everything stands pat, Indiana will come to Athens and get the doors blown off of them. Then we play Texas again.
I don't think it's going to end up that way, though, if we lose.
No, because we end up playing on the road.
We'll end up playing on the road. And
But we should not be that close to Texas in the bracket, though. Like, that's bad for TV.
Well, I just think 9 times out of 10, Georgia will end up being – they put it this way. Instead of seeing them play a third time, they would rather Georgia and Tennessee play the 8-9 game.
Probably, but I think that'd be a bad idea.
And then they do it – well, I'm just saying there's a better chance to me of having a rematch in the first round than there is immediately for the second round.
Agreed. Do you think Ole Miss and Clemson, or not Clemson, Ole Miss and South Carolina are getting hosed?
No, because of the way that it's set up. The way that it's set up is that it's not the 12 best teams, because you're letting 5 conference champions in. The real question is, out of the other 7, are those the 7 best teams? And I think the combination of record, I can't let Indiana not get in at 11-1, even if I think that South Carolina is better than them and they're 9-3, because then it just defeats the whole purpose of their schedule. They lost to Ohio State, who's going to be a playoff team on the road. What we can't do, they have to play their schedule, and they see, and they're a. That's
the problem. The schedules are the problem.
But they're a special case in a sense of they actually were blowing the fuck out of everybody that they played.
Yeah, true.
So
Indiana deserves to get in because they.
I can't put a 3-loss South Carolina in over a 11-1 Indiana. Like, I'm not going to do it. I wouldn't do it, even though I know Indiana. Look, I pray that Georgia gets Indiana. Like, that's who I want them to play. And then I want them to get the ACC champion in the next round.
Carson Beck may get his mojo back. Or get his mojo.
Right. Did he ever have it?
Yeah. Get his mojo. Because I mean, look at Texas's schedule. And the Texas fans who were like, yeah, we came to the SEC and took over. You didn't play anybody.
Right.
You played a soft-ass schedule, and the one SEC power, real power that you played against, fucking wiped the floor with you in your home stadium.
Yeah.
Hey, oh no. Are you going to be able to pop out Saturday or no?
I will have Mari. I will be able to. I'm going to have her, but she's taking pictures with Santa on Sunday morning. But her mom wants to do her hair Saturday night. So I'm going to have her all day, though, Saturday.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out.
What time is that game? Is that at 4 or 8?
Golly, I hope it's not 8. I mean, I hope if it's 8, it works better for what we were just talking about.
Yeah. Because if not, I'll have her during the game if it's at 4.
It's at 4.
Yeah.
I'm not a big 8 o'clock football game in Atlanta guy.
Yeah.
It's not my bag. I've talked about that on here, didn't I? I don't like the late games.
Well, yeah, traffic-wise, I understand for you 100%.
This isn't a bad idea. Colorado versus Miami in a bowl game. That's good TV, right?
Yeah, I think for a bowl game, yeah.
Now, I don't think Cam Ward plays.
Depends on what they project him.
Speaking of which, Heisman. I'm all for Travis Hunter winning the Heisman because I watched enough Colorado to see that he's the best player in the country. Like, he's a high-end offensive player and a high-end defensive player. And I understand Genty has great numbers, but that nigga plays in a bullshit conference. What, the Mountain West?
Right.
So yeah, he's good. I think he will be a good pro. Like, I think he's really good at football. But you're talking about, well, look at his stats. He's not doing this at Mississippi State or Ole Miss or Georgia or Bama or Clemson or LSU.
Anyone.
No, he's doing it at Boise.
His numbers are freakish, though.
No, they're freakish. They're Heisman type numbers.
They're better than the last three. I saw the graphic. The last 3 Heisman winning running backs, he's crushed them.
And if he,
yards per carry, yards, touchdowns, everything.
and if he wins it, I won't say Travis Hunter got robbed. I'll go, no, checks out.
Right. It was his year.
But the whole media narrative that's being painted, like, he's not the one out here making Heisman poses every time he scores. You know, he's not on TV. He's not on primetime TV, on national TV every game. Bro, snaps isn't a stat. Well, look at the stats tied to the snaps. He just won Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Now, I think that was.
He got defense to do.
Shador got offense and
Shador is the one that went off.
yeah, and Travis Hunter won defense. Hey, you see how his girl's acting after the game?
Yeah.
What'd you think he did?
That's the nigga whose phone got went through.
If you go look at his Instagram, it's very obvious that his phone got ran through.
Why?
4 days ago, it's a picture of them to me and you. And this looks like after the game Saturday because she looks pissed. And she got a little Heisman jacket on. Yeah. Then 5 days ago, Queen. And it's just pictures of them two throughout the year.
Nigga said 5 days ago.
Yeah. So back-to-back days, he's posting pictures with his girl. Me and you, Queen. That reads to me a nigga who got caught.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, And here's the thing, though. The Rock used to say this all the time, Lee. Know your role and shut your mouth. And it's not to say that, she's not the prize and he's lucky to.
She is a prize, but she's not the prize in that situation.
I think that she should know her role. Look, Savannah should probably teach a class on this stuff.
Yeah, that's an idea I proposed on this podcast.
Yeah.
Or did we talk about that on the phone?
I don't know. I know that you brought this up before.
They all run together.
But she's going to be able to tell them exactly what it is that they need to know.
It is called When We Are in Public. Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Now,
look at Dale getting all those points.
yeah, me too. Now, when you get home, when you get in that car, because Travis Hunter is probably riding something blacked out.
Yeah.
When you get in that car, you give that nigga the business. And
no.
And sometimes you got to withhold that thing from him, but not too long. Not too long. Because if you withhold for too long,
there will be more.
Then what you was just mad about gets worse. Because he's already going to be defiant. All these hoes I got, okay, have, and you holding out? Bet.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this young lady doesn't have a kid yet.
She's hot too.
Yeah, I think they're engaged, but I don't think they're not married.
She's hot.
KSU alum. Oh wow! Look at the song he got.
He hit me all the time. He protected me. Hey, my girl, she loves me. He hit me.
Oh, yeah, that nigga got caught. I shouldn't laugh at that. That's not funny. And he shouldn't be carrying himself in a way that would get him caught. Meaning that
he's a nigga that lives in Colorado. I don't want to hear it.
Huh?
He's a nigga that lives in Colorado.
Yo, she got some onion back there too.
Oh, some onion?
Yeah. And she's like, looks like she's Puerto Rican and Mexican, if I got my flags right.
Heisman.
Let's see. Okay, she posted you and me 4 days ago.
Damn, Courtney caught a fucking touchdown.
Who?
Well, I got McManus as my kicker.
You want
to get 3 there. I mean, I know that they'll eventually kick it because that's how they can tie it, but I don't know. It would have been nice to get the 3 this time.
Yeah, I'm kind of deep into this Instagram right now. Oh yeah, but she graduated from KSU. Well, she got her master's from KSU.
So good call.
Yeah. Yeah, no, great call. I mean, that means that like she can be independent without like having to sell lingerie or bathing suits or do club bookings.
Right.
Like that's a respectable wife. You can
Nigga said without doing lingerie and
yeah. I feel like a lot of the football players are publicly with more wholesome women than basketball players. Publicly.
You're a dick for putting it that way, though.
Huh?
So you're a dick for putting it that way.
Like, you can drop her off with
the lingerie.
I mean, you can drop her off.
Lingerie.
She can go to like the team wives functions and you're not worried about her talking too much and embarrassing you and saying stupid stuff.
Right.
You know, a lot of these women who may look like her and may have done similar things to look that way. Not saying she did that. She could be natural. I don't know.
Right.
They usually can't hold the same level of conversations because they don't have the same ability to retain and process information, analyze it, and then share it.
That's fair.
Bro, you've had a plus one before who you did not want to leave your side, not because you were jealous or worried about her doing anything like or leaving with somebody else. You just didn't want the people around you to hear her talk too long.
Right.
And you know that you can control the conversations if you're there to get her in and out and keep it on topics that she's good on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the shade room. Let's not talk about your thoughts on economic policy, please.
Well, what are we actually here for?
Well, you're here to have a hot plus one, impress her a little bit with what you're taking her to, and then go home and get some action.
Well, and that's the point, though. What are we actually here for?
But you're still around people. You're not around your close friends. You're around people.
I'd rather everybody be like, man, she's a good time.
Well, or if she's having fun, then you're good. You know, if she's the one that's like ordering the shots and putting them on your card, it's okay.
Right.
Because women don't buy booze.
Well, right. Okay. Well, you're saying plus one. I'm thinking almost like a wedding. Where in that scenario, booze should be free.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But if you brought a bimbo around us, we don't care.
Right.
We know what time it is.
I would never do such a thing though either.
I remember I brought a very talkative chick around one time, and our good friend who we just got off the phone with, it's like, yo, he talks. She's annoying. I was like, yeah, I know, but she has a very, very good set of special skills. That
was this for like a Navy ball?
No, it was just man.
Was I there?
No, you weren't around for this.
Okay.
You know, like me and Josh used to live in San Diego. So
Yeah,
like,
so that's what I was trying to think. I was trying to think. I'm like, am I missing something here?
No, and yeah, Josh was just like, yeah, she's fucking annoying. I'm just like, bro, special set of skills, man.
Well, more importantly, she's annoying to you.
I know bro. She's the type that you can fall asleep on while she's talking, and then you wake up and she's talking differently.
But I'm saying, even at that point, it's like she's annoying to you, nigga.
You picking up what I'm putting down here?
I am.
Okay.
I hear you loud and clear, Captain.
That's my old job.
Yeah.
Is LeBron cooked?
You know, I told my dad this the other day when we were watching the game.
That's very wholesome.
Well, not the other day. I'm sorry, this morning. We watched Get Up, and we have breakfast almost every morning. And I said this in a weird way, kind of this stretch. I said it reminds me a lot of, people forget the year before Peyton Manning's last season, he actually started off like on fire. They played the St. Louis Rams because they were the St. Louis Rams at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They played the St. Louis Rams, and he got knocked around in that game. And I said, after that is when Peyton Manning's career changed. He never looked the same again. Go back and look at Peyton Manning's second to last year and before that game what his stats were, and then everything going forward. He became a shell of himself. And I'm not saying LeBron is becoming a shell of himself, but what it is Father Time is ultimately undefeated. And clearly, look, he had in that blowout game against Minnesota, he still had 29. So it ain't like, you know, LeBron's not going to still stuff the stat sheet. But at the same time, it ends for everybody at one point, man. And I'm not saying that it's over for him, but the reality of it is this. I don't think that he's ever had back-to-back games like that where they got their ass kicked like that on any team that he's been on, including maybe even his rookie year team. I don't think that he's lost back-to-back games by 30-plus. I can't recall.
Now, question. Is he doing his LeBron statement earlier than usual? Because, you know, Rob doesn't really like the deadline. Because, you know, LeBron, he makes those statements.
Well, they talked about potentially him getting traded.
Who, LeBron?
That would the Lakers do that for him?
Was this
Send
a get up? Was this
I
get
don't
up?
know where they would send him.
Where?
Where was the rumor last time?
Golden State?
Just let him play with Steph.
Well, was this a get up conversation?
No. It was Wilbon and Kornheiser.
There may be some validity to that one. They're not hot take artists.
Who scored?
Josh Jacobs.
I can't get a fucking field goal to save my life, can I?
I can't get a Jordan Love touchdown to save my life.
He didn't throw it. I thought he
Uh,
threw the other one before this one.
I'm checking the app now. Yeah. I don't care about last week, fantasy. I'm doing something here. Oh yeah, he threw one.
Yeah, so I thought. I was like, well, hold on. I said he threw one of these.
And Gambles has Kraft on his bench. He has the touchdown.
Tucker Carlson.
I thought that was a very clever name. So good I didn't want to change it. And I love using Booger's picture. Because, you know, with,
Booger's the type to state something obvious. I'm not leaving. Keep going.
what was that, Coach Boone's Coons a couple years ago?
Coach Boone's Cones. Actually, you couldn't even, because they wouldn't even let you use cone. Like
I
you
feel like
you had to do, I thought, didn't you have to do raccoons?
it's something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was Big Baby's bottles. Keep it
Well, we
simple.
still got to get you a championship.
Like Andy Reid in Philly, man.
One thing that JP lied about, by the way, JP said something about he tried to make a justification about something about being in the league since like 2000 or something. And I went back and looked at it. I was like, nigga, you were in this league every fucking year. Just because when you go to your league history, it doesn't show your entire league history. I'm like, I knew that he had been in the league the entire time. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, no, you've been in this league.
Yeah, me and JP got cool because of this league.
There was only one year where we had an 8-team league one year. Did you realize that?
Was that the year like everybody was deployed?
2020. It was the COVID year. So it didn't I literally, just because I was looking at it, because I was like, okay. I was like, legacy signed, sealed, and delivered for me if I can win this year, honestly. But no, the 2020 year, there were 8 teams. Josh won the league. So he wasn't deployed, but there was no Julian Turner. No, Juice on here. No, you want to know what it is? I remember his girl was setting his lineup, is what it was. But his team is on here, but there's no Gambles. There's no Dale. There's no. Huh?
Was Nico deployed too?
Yeah, there's no Nico. Wayne's in the league. This might have been the first year that Wayne was in the league.
Yeah, that would have been the first year.
Yeah, we had a skeleton crew this year. It was Josh, myself, Justice, you, Wayne, Boink, Mr. Turner, and Jordan, JP.
Bring back Wayne, man.
I don't see why not. I think Justice would be in agreement. Justice wants to get everybody out of this league that doesn't know anything about football.
So Matt Gambles?
Basically. I mean, that's what I took away from him.
I mean, if we weren't friends, I'd be okay with that.
This is my proposal. This is what I'm going to propose next year, especially if I win. Yeah, I mean, even if I don't win, I'm going to still propose it. But I think that we should expand the league to 14 teams.
Okay.
Because it's going to make it another degree of difficulty. It's crazy. My 12-man league team is better than my 10-man league team. Not just because I'm winning more, but literally if I played them against each other, I would probably, my 12-man team would beat my 10-man team, I think. And so I think it makes it way more difficult. Moves become so much more scarce. You really can't drop certain people. Backup running backs become a priority for everyone. Because that is you don't want to be Boink in a situation. Now, he had Jordan Mason, but you don't want to be in a situation where you draft somebody like a McCaffrey who's going to be out. It grows the pot, and we can expand the playoffs to 6 teams, making it to where the top 2 teams get a bye, and then it's 3-6, 4-5. And I think that would make it – I don't want to expand the playoffs as a 12-team league. We don't need half the league in.
I agree.
But if we get it to 14, I'm fair with – we can add 2 more playoff spots for adding 2 more teams. I would be okay with that. And it makes it so much more competitive. I look at you, put it this way. If this were just hypothetically, even in the 12-man league, you, Boink, and Nico will be competing for with Josh, 2 of basically the final spots. And y'all would all have a chance.
Yeah.
You could win. Josh could lose. Nico could beat him. Then it starts being a tiebreaker thing. Boink's got something to play for.
I lost 3 or 4 games by less than 5 points.
I did the math on mine as well. Obviously, but then you got to count the games you won.
Yeah, no, I got a few tight games I won too.
I've got 4 losses. 3 of them combined were for 14.8 points. I got blown out once. I got blown out. The first time I played Mr. Term, I got blown out. He beat me by almost 40. And my team still scored 90. He just had 130. So, it wasn't a bad game for me. His team just went off that day. And that happens in this league. That's going to happen. But, yeah, I literally 3 out of my 4 losses combined, it was by 14 points. And every single time I could point to something and why I lost. I lost to Boy week 1. The Bears scored 2 defensive. The defense got him 26 points. They haven't had a performance like that all year. But thanks, Will Levis. You know what I mean? They scored 2 defensive touchdowns. Because you remember, Caleb Williams was sorry as fuck in his first game.
Yeah.
I lost to him by 8.
Okay.
I lost to Gambles because Josh Allen threw 4 touchdown passes against the Jaguars on Monday night. Saquon Barkley ran it up against the Saints, and so did – who was this tight end? Goddard. Goddard had 10 catches for 170 yards. I lost to him by 6. And then, of course, I lost to you because of a missed field goal. And so I could have 1 loss too. This is the most legitimate season out of a team, though, JP. And I told him, I said, honestly, bro, what you're doing is unprecedented in this league. Nobody's done what you're doing. I don't think anyone's ever only had 1 loss ever. I think the best record has been 10-3.
Yeah, he's just dog walking everybody.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. And he's doing it like he's blowing everyone out, everyone. I mean, he didn't beat me, but I'm literally in this thing. I'm an outlier, and he had 100 points. He scored 100 points against me. My team was just better that day, but
lost to Matt Flowers by 2 points.
And those are unacceptable losses.
Yeah, I'm with you. Lost to Dale by 2
Dell
points.
team's good though.
Yeah. Lost to Julian by 20. That's fine.
His team's good too. For what it's
Lost-
worth, this year he's good.
Lost to Justice by 5.
Okay.
Beat Nico by 10. Beat Boink by like 15. Beat Boyd by 10. Lost to Gambles by 10. Lost to Josh by less than a point. Beat you by less than a point.
Yeah, craziness. It was the craziest game, and it.
I mean, JP.
I won money on my bet because I took the Lions to come back, but I was like, "Yo, can they just punt the ball here?" Was all I was thinking.
JP, goodness gracious, he beat me 127-68. Then I won the other 2 games.
But look, you started what 0-4 or 0-5.
0-4.
You should be proud of what you've done. You're 6-3
Oh, yeah.
since we made the trade. Like it's worked out.
Bijan got started late, and Nick Chubb was hurt, and
It works out. Like I'm 7-2 since the trade.
Yeah,
Worked
so
out. But that's why even when I sent you the breakdown of it, I drafted so well at wide receiver. It's not even funny because I traded Cooper Kupp too, who got hurt, but on an average basis, in terms of his average, because they're not going to rank him in the top 5. On his average basis, he would be a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy too this season.
And honestly, man, I know the excuses don't matter to anybody, but sitting at dinner during the draft and not paying attention, there were just some auto draft picks, some little things I would have done a tad bit differently, and I go, I'm okay. Now, if I would have been locked in on the draft like I normally am and sitting in front of my computer hosting the show,
Mm-hmm.
I would be extremely disappointed with my team.
Yeah.
Also, how's the payout going for that other league?
So JP is the commissioner. He's the one that will be paying it because. So I already paid mine. Put it that way.
Okay.
And
Because he never talked about payment collection, so I never paid him. But like, I think that amongst anybody who's in the locker room, they know that I'm good for it. I just
I placed a wager for him, and it was equivalent to the amount due.
okay.
So So that's how it. He's the one that is collecting the money, though.
All right, I'll think.
JP thought that he was going to win that league too.
I thought I was going to win that league too, and now I've been cold.
Well, you would just need something bad to happen to not make it.
Yeah. You know what I have a problem with?
What's that?
Women who have ugly feet posting their pedicures.
I mean, what did the feet look like? Shacks? I mean, what are we?
No, they're just not. It's just not a good set of feet. So
You sound like a footman to me.
it's one of the first things to look at on a woman. Ja got ejected, by the way.
Oh, great. He's on my fantasy team.
The second tech,
Oh, it was 2 techs. He wasn't like he just got thrown out for like
two
pointing a
techs.
gun at somebody or anything.
Yeah, and then after he got ejected, he looked at the referee and went like, and pointed up like he was getting ejected.
Yeah.
Okay, John Runyon. I just came across that John Runyon play against the 49ers.
Yeah, I thought I
Yeah,
said that to you too. Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying it just popped up in my feed.
Yeah.
Hey, D'Lo has a plus 69 plus minus.
He's someone I had on my fantasy basketball team and I dropped him.
Please tell
I dropped
JJ.
him and Kyle Kuzma. Those are 2 dudes that I was like, oh man, they should do all right this year. No.
Please tell JJ to put the ball in D'Lo's hands.
Who tweeted that? D'Lo?
Laker realist at Laker Cycle.
Okay. Well, I don't don't know. I've watched enough Lakers games, and then more importantly, I've been watching him for what 6, 7, 8 years now. Even
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't. Don't let Russ cook.
Oh God, this chick is shut my mouth. Melo said, "Let them boys be themselves, man." Jared McCain, keep painting your fingernails and keep hooping.
The Ringer did something on that too, by the way, where they broke down. God, of course, the Lions are going to run it.
Hey.
I need a St. Brown touchdown because I took the Packers. I need St. Brown to score. He's got to score, though. Because if he doesn't get it here, then I'm not going to win.
That boy Cat been hooping, ain't he? You know, maybe
Patrick, fucking, he was like plus 700 to score.
why would we not throw it to Laporta?
That's what you had. You's got Laporta. He took Jacobs. Jacobs scored.
Okay.
'Cause I put one in for him. Let me see.
Ooh, we.
Ooh, we what?
I just came across that Nuggets Knicks fight from back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. They might have to watch this one again. JR wasn't having it with that foul. Where's King and Martin? Dang. All right, man. A lot of dead air. You ready for the picks?
That is literally what I'm putting together right now. 1 second.
Okay. Hey, yeah. Sorry for those of you listening. I was watching a video and he's putting the picks together. Very disrespectful to you all, but you know what? I've done worse.
All right, here. Let's get to championship week in college. Because I already had a really good understanding of what direction I was going to go in with these picks, honestly.
All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Parlay Peas College Football 6.
666. All righty. So where's that time again?
I'm not.
God, what a solid college football season that we've had.
Yeah.
And I know that we'll have bowl games and, of course, the playoffs, but this is technically kind of the last week, and championship week's always kind of been that last week. So let's just get straight into it. So, all right, we'll start off. We'll just go in order with these games and when they're coming on. We'll start off with the Friday night games. We've got Tulane versus Army. This game is actually being played at West Point, which a lot of people, I don't know if they realize that, but that the AAC championship is not played at a neutral site. The game is going to be played at West Point. Army is plus 170. I actually like Army to beat Tulane. Give me an Army as a dog, and that's going to be a common theme with this track. But I like Army on the money line. I think that you need those elite athletes, right, to kind of stop that option. That's how that works. Who said that? Where did Tulane become this elite team? I think Army only loss comes to Notre Dame, and who knows? Maybe they make it a little spicy for the college football playoff for that. Yeah, because my next pick is going to be UNLV versus Boise State. I like UNLV plus 4.5. I like them on the points. Now, I don't know if they're going to win. I think that, of course, college football wants Boise in because of Genty. Like, of course they want him in, right? Wouldn't it be weird, though, if they get that bye? Like, it'd be weird. It'd be like lambs for the slaughter because they get, like, Ohio State or Penn State or maybe Georgia. Like, I don't know. They might, depending on how they end up the final rankings.
But they get Genty on the big stage.
Yeah, but see, it would be better. Well, but in a weird way, it would be better if they were one of the teams that hosted a home college playoff game, because that's what you really want. You want Alabama to go to Boise State. That would be
No.
something unique for the college football experience.
But
DeBoer,
what's better for ratings is them in the
Kentucky
Big
versus
Ten.
Bama would be great. I would love to see that. At Boise, I'd love to see that shit.
Till
But
Millwall.
I like UNLV to cover the 4.5. That game's gonna be close. So I like them on the points. Next, we got Iowa State versus Arizona State. I've got to watch both of them play, and honestly, I'm gonna go with the better coaching job here. I'm gonna take another dog. Iowa State's a dog against Arizona State. I like Iowa State to win the game. Give me Matt Campbell and the Cyclones on the money line. Like I said, we're going in order. This is the game of the week, obviously. You get Georgia, Texas. I think the dogs are on top again, honestly. I think that Kirby's the master preparer, and he's the best coach in college football, and I think he proves it again against Sark. Texas, of course, will still get in. They'll probably have a home playoff game, too, even if they lose. They'll get Indiana. They'll set them up real nice. Give me Georgia, though. Another dog. I like another dog here. So what's that? I keep count. That's 4 dogs. Next, we got Clemson, SMU. I'm going to take Dabo. I don't believe in SMU. Like, I don't believe that they're more talented than Clemson. And I think that Dabo, knowing that he's actually got a chance to somehow make the fucking playoff, they're not going to make any noise when they get there. But I think it adds it on to his, like, belt of we do things the right way at Clemson. I like Clemson as a dog here. Give me Clemson on the money line. And then the final game, which I guess would be kind of really the game of the week, Penn State, Oregon, because they're the 2 highest ranked teams playing each other. I like Oregon. I think Oregon completes their undefeated regular season. And I like Dan Lanning and his boys to get it done on the money.
I don't like James Franklin against good teams.
Well, right, games that matter.
Yeah, that's not as bad.
Because if Penn State were to win, many people might argue that they should be the 1 seed, especially if Georgia wins.
Hey,
I mean, when you say that they like that would be kind of like the
golly, and they'd eat that up because they love Penn State.
yeah.
I was talking to my uncle who's working up in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh area, or Pennsylvania, because he's been in Pittsburgh, Philly area both. And he's just like, man, you go to a bar to watch a game, and every fucking TV has Penn State on. And he's an SEC football fan.
Well, State College.
But it's very easy to not watch the traditional Big Ten teams. Like Penn State does not get me to a TV.
No star power. I mean, obviously.
Ohio State does against the right team. But I'm not watching Ohio State Purdue. Purdue can be ranked 22.
Yeah. It's just not that appealing.
Nah, if somebody tells you they're signing with Purdue to play college football, you go, oh, this guy values his education. he looked at the best big school academically tied to what he's interested in and chose that school. Last thing on college football, I know we're doing the picks. I'm not recapping because I'm not clipping. Ohio State lost to Michigan.
They did. There's a lot of tight assholes in Columbus right now.
And I don't think Ryan Day should necessarily get fired.
Well, then what do you think should happen? What outcome needs to happen for him to get fired? Does it have to be an embarrassment against who they play? Because let's say that they are the 5, for instance. Well, they wouldn't be. Well, no, they could be. If Penn State loses, they beat Penn State. And even though they lost to Michigan, Ohio State's pretty much been a top 3 team all season.
Well, you got to consider making some changes up top. But like I say with LSU, who are you going to get? Now, if Herb's going to come back, run it.
Run it with Herb.
Yeah, but I just don't know how much better you can get. And also understanding this is Ryan Day's first head coaching job.
He might not be ready for that moment, though.
He's doing a damn good job.
Okay.
Like, this year was the first year that the Michigan loss is a problem for me. Again, I'm not an Ohio State fan.
Well, you're just saying that Michigan's been better this whole time.
Yeah, like they've just been better. And y'all beat the shit out of Michigan for a long time. They got their 3, and then this year they got their 4th, and it's like rivalry game. You shouldn't lose this game, but
Yeah, just
yeah, it's like this shit happens. Georgia should have lost to Georgia Tech.
They should have, but we knew that they wouldn't.
Yeah, but
And that's like kind of like the difference though between schools. Like, I don't know, kind of like that to me.
I just, man, these fans are just too hot and cold, man. They fire the coach and replace him with who? You'll call Jimbo? I don't think he's the Midwest type of recruiter guy.
Oh, what is Jimbo though?
Rich as fuck. Happily unemployed.
I was about to say Jimbo's the type of guy that he's okay with his stand, his lot in life. He's got a natty.
Probably has a great
winner. He rebuilt a program that had somewhat fallen from glory. Will we say Florida State had fell a little? I mean, I know it was a handoff with Bobby Bowden, but Bobby Bowden and Florida State, they had turned into Mark Richt anyways. Like it was a 9-win program.
Jimbo probably has a great handicap. Playing some great golf out there.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't want to do a 3-hour podcast tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Parlay P's NFL 6 Pack. 6.
All right. Pulling it up. All right, here we go. All right, we have got a pretty salacious 6-pack coming straight for you. Actually, a lot of over-unders in here. More over-unders than typically what I do. I guess 2 would be a lot. Anyways, I'm going to start off with the Monday night game. I like the Cincinnati Bengals on the money line against the Cowboys. They're overdue. Cowboys have actually obviously been playing a little bit better, but who they've been playing against? I don't think that Cooper Rush picks them apart enough to outscore Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So give me the Bengals money line. Next, we got the Bills at the Rams. Love this pick. Give me the Rams plus 3.5. The season's on the line, and typically when they play against good teams, now I know they lost to the Eagles, but if anyone remembers even last year how they kind of finished the second half of their season, they played a really fucking great game against like the Ravens, and that Ravens team was much more unstoppable than this year's Ravens team. Give me the Rams plus 3.5 at home. I think that game is going to be close. And I kind of like the Rams, but I like them to cover the 3.5. I guess is my point. Next, we got the Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals on the money line. Self-explanatory. 2 teams like that, they get a split in this situation. And I think at home, I just like Kyler. Plus, I expect McBride to get me a big day in fantasy. Next, we got the Chargers at the Chiefs. I like the under 44 here. I think that's a lot of points to be putting in this game.
Yeah.
After watching the Chargers play and knowing what the Chiefs are, this has got like 21-17 written all over it. Maybe even 20-13. I mean, it's going to be just like kind of like that Falcons game with the Chargers. I like the under here. So under 44. Next, we got the Jets at Dolphins. Stay away from picking the Jets to do anything. But I expect there to actually be points scored in this game. So give me over 45. I think the Dolphins are going to kind of run it up. I would just take the Dolphins on the spread, but I kind of like the over. I think Aaron Rodgers still wants to get his stats up so that him and Bill can make a power tandem in New York. But wear blue this time around. And then finally, speaking of the boys in blue, we got the Saints at the Giants. I actually like the Giants to get the W. Give me the Giants on the money line here. Because it's fuck the Saints. So
it's always and forever.
Yeah.
You saw Dan Campbell just went for it on 4th down and didn't convert, and Packers
are an idiot.
The Packers were already in field goal range.
Yeah, I couldn't get the bet in time. That was really the issue here.
I just don't understand why these coaches do that dumb shit.
Yeah, I'm about to take the Packers, but I think I'm going to take the Warriors tonight. They're plus 180 right now, down 2. I guess Steph's not playing, so that might be why. But
Cat told OG to stop grabbing the mic when he was doing the post game interviews. I guess OG's not used to being talked to after the game.
OG Bobby Jones.
We got anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Oh, I guess I should do Leash 3, but it's hard to do Leash 3 when you don't know the bets.
You can bring them back up. I feel like, I tell you what, if I could handcraft it for you, I think I know exactly what direction you'd go in.
All right, let's do it.
So, knowing you,
Okay.
I think from the NFL, you probably would go with Kyler at home on the money line against the Seahawks.
I would.
I feel like that's something that you would like. I think you would also take the Bengals against the Cowboys.
I was definitely going to tell you to take that one.
And then I think college-wise, why not just pile on top and we just say it's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah. So yeah, you got it right.
Big Bertha gets bit by fucking Uga.
Yeah, so Leash 3 would be Arizona money line, Bengals money line, and Georgia on the money line.
Yeah.
Because my head doesn't take Georgia, but my heart does, and because it's the SEC.
The idea of Kirby Smart knowing that, winning the SEC means something to him.
Yeah,
and I think the idea that they're the representation of the SEC with the newcomer of Texas coming in, and I don't know. I think that they're going to play well enough to get the bye. Like I think that means something too, to be able to have that rest. And then if you lose that game, potentially you might be on the road. You're probably on the road. And you have to play an extra game. I think that that's motivation enough for them. And I think that Texas to me is a finesse team, but I've always felt that way about them. They're a Big 12 football team. The game is being played here in the state of Georgia. And we know that Mercedes-Benz for Alabama, this is a home game for Georgia.
Yeah.
So I like the dogs. I do. I really do. Them as a dog again. I like the dogs.
Jewel Lloyd requested a trade. Do you care?
Let's see if she goes to Vegas. Nah, they'll probably pair her ass up with. They'll trade the chick from Indiana, Kelsey. There's the other chick named Kelsey that plays with Caitlin Clark. They'll put like Jewel Lloyd with her or some shit. It'll be something crazy.
Oh, the Martin.
Send her to Atlanta. I'm sure she'd like it here. Or maybe even LA with Brink coming back.
I saw a picture of Brink the other day. Actually, I saw it today when I was at work.
And what'd you think?
Long legs.
Yeah. Daddy long legs.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Daddy long legs. We're out of here, guys.
Yeah.
Until next week.